Welcome back, one and all, to the B stream as we get the Division 1 playoffs underway. As if there wasn't enough drama on this channel already after Emerge Charlie's Game 7 victory over Lanners earlier this evening, we now check out the winners bracket round 1 of Division 1 Group B, as there are 12 teams today attempting to seal 6 places in Championship Sunday in these Division 1 playoffs. The focus is on the winners bracket 1.1 fixture. It is LastWind versus Fort Templar.
All right.
Alongside me to help cast this first fixture of the Division 1 playoffs is Greybeard.
Good evening, Herbie. And here we are. This is always the nervy time, isn't it? 9 weeks of league play. Suddenly you're in the playoffs. You can have had the most outstanding series, not lost a game, and then find yourselves falling short in playoffs. And that's where we are now. It's a whole different way of thinking about how you approach your game of Rocket League. And it's where it becomes its most exciting. So I'm really excited to see it kick off.
Well, this is the first season of the extended playoff format for Division 1 over 2 days, but most importantly, perhaps, these playoff fixtures are best of 5, as opposed to the best of 7 that these Division 1 players will be used to. Best of 7's only kick into gear tomorrow in Championship Sunday, when we whittle down the field from 12 to 6 teams. So lose a couple of best of 5 matches, and as you said, you're out, and you can be a winner from league play. You can go unbeaten over the course of those 9 weeks of the season. It doesn't matter if you can't bring your best game on the day tonight. And the pressure is on these 4 teams that we're seeing in the winners bracket round 1. LastWind and Fort Templar on stream coming up, and Astro Zenith and Godalian's Divinity are on the other side. The Nameless Paradox wait in the second round of the winners bracket for the winner of this series, by virtue of being a higher seed. But best of 5 and an opportunity to advance to the next round or face going down to the losers bracket. It is an important series, not do or die. Still the winners bracket after all, so losing still leaves you with another chance, but you definitely don't want to be using up that wild card too early on in the playoffs.
Yeah, and these teams are very closely matched. You know, they're obviously coming, both of them find in second place on the table in their respective divisions, Division 1.1 and 1.2, and similar records. You know, they're pretty close in many respects. So a game that adds to the tension of it, because you're not playing, you know, the last placed from the league, so you have a relatively easy game. This is tough from the get-go, so very keen to see how both of these teams approach it from the outset. Are we and with the best of 5, you don't have a lot of time for that feel-out game, which is very often the first. You kind of got to be going at full speed relatively quickly in this sort of scenario, best of 5 in a playoff situation.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a fairly brutal section of the bracket to be attempting to work through, with 2 of the strongest second place finishers, as well as the winners of Division 1.3 in league play, the Nameless Paradox, are waiting ahead. Only one of these teams gets to remain in the winners bracket, and a couple of them will be dropping down to the losers bracket to try and fight for their place in tomorrow's Championship Sunday matches. And I'm going to back LastWind for the victory here. They're a team that I'm very familiar with as a Rocket Sundays caster. Their 2s team did very well in our top division this season. And I think as a freeze roster, they've got a lot of chemistry. These guys play a lot of Rocket League together, and they should be well prepared for this series. Fort Templar Academy, they had a forfeit loss in league play, but the matches that they actually played on the pitch were 6-2. It's going to be an interesting series, but I'm going to give it to LastWind in all the way up to 5 games.
All right. Well, we can't have all the casting support behind one team. So for no good reason other than to be of contrast to you, Herbie, I'm going for Fort Templar, and look at this. Right out the gate, off kickoff, we have goal number 1, 1 second in, LastWind are behind.
Well, Fort Templar will be very happy you've said that. You've willed that first goal into existence. The opener, just a second into the first game of this series. It's a real shock to the system for LastWind. They'll try and respond with a kick-off goal of their own now, so they take possession into the far corner. Khan from the ceiling was looking for a pass into the middle, and they do have to try and recover a little bit and start to generate some shots. The game is properly underway now, and it could be a 2-0 lead for Fort Templar as Driz drops down this shot just 18 seconds in. What a start this is for the team in orange.
Yeah, they seem to be out. Look, I mean, that first goal, I mean, that sort of thing happens, and they maybe got a bit fortunate there, the way that kickoff happened, but that goal was quite special, the way it played out, and the pass high in the air, the finish from Driz, and wow, Fort Templar, 20 seconds in, looking pretty good, sitting pretty in this game one.
Billy looked for the pass middle, but D-Lynch cut it out. Khan is in an awkward spot at the back there. Now Oles to collect on the left wing, but took a bump on the way through. Billy will be given the opportunity to clear for LastWind, as they haven't really had any sustained pressure going forwards yet. And every time Fort Templar Academy have come forwards, they've found the back of the net. Great start for them in game one, and as opposed to the best of 7 format in playoffs, in a best of 5 you can't really afford to hang around for too long at the beginning of the series in poor form. That's a great save by Zoon to prevent it from being a 3-goal lead, but the warning signs are definitely flashing for LastWind.
Yeah, Fort Templar seem to have started this game like they're in a hurry, like they want to get an early night or something. They're wanting to take it really quickly. Their pace and their urgency on the ball is really good to see, and I think initially, and I do believe LastWind will eventually adjust, but you get the sense that they've been caught a little bit by surprise by how eager and how quick Fort Templar are approaching this, and good moments of territorial pressure continue for Fort Templar.
Well, these two teams coming from different areas of Division 1 is perhaps having an impact in this series. You spend so long in your little corner of Division 1. When you face off against another team from a different area of Division 1, it can be challenging at first perhaps to adapt. You never really know during the season if one of the subdivisions is having a better season, if their teams are of higher quality. You only really find out when they all come together in the playoffs. And Fort Templar, they've been more prepared in these first couple of minutes. They have those early goals. The game has slowed down a little bit since then. LastWind are getting opportunities to come forward, but it's still Fort Templar's game to lose at the moment.
Yeah, it's a great point you make. And even when teams are, oh my word, the triple commit in defense, it does keep it out. But a sign of the nervousness or the little bit, the edgy play happening with LastWind right now. But your point, even if you have teams that are similar, have a similar record, you don't know what all of the teams are like. And so they are, in the playoff phase, you're getting to face the teams from the other side. And so far, Fort Templar having the best of it. But I imagine these teams, these players must be relatively familiar with each other just from being on the scene, and I'm sure they've had their scrims together and have some sense of how to play it. Oh my word! On the Fort Templar side, they survive an attempt on their net.
Yeah, that was the first shot on target for LastWind. It was a dangerous one. That is more dangerous. It's the hat-trick for Driz in this opening game. They've been the clinical finisher of the pitch so far. Towards the top right corner, not quite nestling into the top corner, but enough to beat the defender on the line, and a 3-goal lead for Fort Templar Academy that could well be enough to see out this game one now, because LastWind have not had many opportunities to come forward at all. It's been a game mostly fought in midfield.
Yeah, and some of the points you made about LastWind at the start, we're seeing Fort Templar come out with, just in terms of the team plays have been great, and how they're finding each other in the field, and the passing plays that have led up to these goals, other than the kickoff goal, of course, has been really, really nice to see. But look at this from Billy. Whoa, the dunk, the intercept there, nearly finding its way to the net and setting itself up for a shot. And now Zoon looking for Billy. Can he find the intercept there? So opportunities now starting to come for LastWind, but maybe a little too late, where they've got to find 3 goals in just over a minute, Herbie.
Fort Templar Academy look pretty relaxed at the moment, I have to say. It doesn't feel like they're really having to match playoff level intensity in the first few minutes of this game one. They had the lead from the beginning. They've held on to it. They're even a minute away from a clean sheet. LastWind trying to prevent that from happening, but here comes Driz down the middle again. Might be the 4th goal for them. Billy makes an important save on that one to keep LastWind just about in the rear-view mirror, but in the rear-view mirror is certainly where they're staying as long as they're back here pinned in the defensive third.
Yeah, and it's been a really, really good game for them. But a team with the record that LastWind have had, certainly this is not the first time they've been in this position, and they've played enough Rocket League to have found themselves being behind, going a game down in a best of 5 series. So they will certainly have the wherewithal and the experience to kind of go, okay, guys, we need a little bit of a reset here, and And I have no doubt that they will have a good think about it and come out with a plan in game 2. But as we count down the last 10 seconds, I think Templar have a lock on this game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. These teams finished second in their divisions. As Els is going to add on one more. Why not for Templar Academy? Close out a fantastic Game 1 performance. But both of these sides finished second in their respective areas of Division 1. And 2 seeds can be quite dangerous to come up against in the playoff competition because they're teams that have gotten used to winning plenty over the course of the season to get to where they are. But they've also got that little chip on their shoulder after dropping 1 or 2 matches that prevented them from topping the table. They can be a very dangerous team that has motivation to win when it comes to the playoffs.
Well, if you're thinking about motivation and who seems the hungrier at least now, I mean, we spoke about how Templar were coming out of this game in such a rush early on, and we see their 9 shots up against the 2 from LastWind. So that is the story right there in terms of aggression, pressure play, territorial advantage, all on the side of Templar. So I would be very, very surprised, Herbie. Given the experience of LastWind and what you had to say about them, if they don't come back as a different team in game 2, I don't for a second get the sense that Templar are going to take this in a sweep.
Yeah, absolutely. If last bracket, they've got to score some goals in game 2. Even if they don't win game 2, they need offense. They need more shots on target, and they need to start putting more pressure on Templar Academy, who absolutely breezed through that opening game of the series, literally scored a second in and kept that lead for the entirety of the game.
And then maybe that kind of just got things off to the wrong foot for LastWind, because that happens to all of us, and it's not with so much time left that it shouldn't be a crippling thing with a 1-second goal, but it might have stunned them. But look at this now; it's 6 seconds compared to 1 second. It's an eternity. But wow, 6 seconds in, Templar up ahead immediately in game 2.
Again, it's a rapid start from Templar, but the LastWind defense on the line. There's 2 players in front of the net there, but they're completely asleep. Nobody even gets near that ball. Is this the first goal for them? However, Driz gets across to make the save and is having an excellent start to the series, both offensively and now defensively as well, to keep LastWind at bay. Templar have scored their 5th consecutive goal, and they're looking for a 6th down the right wing here. Billy's going to send that one a long way clear, looped up towards midfield. Driz taps it back, and now Khan goes for the shot. Billy's up there for the redirect. This is turning into a good chance for LastWind. What a save by D. Lynch. Jumped early to receive that ball, but got the block in.
A great save, because the play was looking fantastic leading up to that. It just felt like a goal was coming, everyone involved. So the touch away, really important. And this is a much better period of play from LastWind, looking more threatening on the Templar net than they did through the entirety of that first 5 minutes. But now they got to make it count. They've had 6 minutes of Rocket League without a goal, and now Ols will get that and take it away, and it remains Templar 1 in front. Make that! Oh, it comes off the crossbar. I was calling that in a little too early, but wow, really close.
Yeah, they had the LastWind defenders dead to rights, but the crossbar denied Templar on this occasion. It remains 1-0, but for how long? That is a tasty ball across the front of the net that nobody is there to react to. LastWind trying to clear from the ceiling. It's sent back by Ols in off the backboard, looping towards the centre. D. Lynch committed early for it, but there's always one defender back from Templar. Speaking of which, they look in a bit of trouble. It's Khan stealing the ball back and equalising for LastWind.
I'm not sure what happened here. He's going backwards, which is never a wonderful thing to be doing, but he just couldn't get control of it. It kept touching his car in awkward spots, and he just couldn't figure it out, and then the ball stolen away from him. And finally, LastWind are on the board, and having scored the first, that may just settle them now, and they can start to become a little stronger. But almost an early response. The pressure's still on. A bump in front of the net. Ols trying to get the pass off the backboard, but pressure again building from Templar, but an even game, which makes all the difference for LastWind.
Yeah, the key difference has been more offense from Zune and Khan. They are the 2 starting members of the 2v2 team that LastWind have had going, so I'd expect strong offense from them. And they have registered a combined 4 shots on target in this game, but still giving the ball away defensively. They've got to improve their play at both ends if they are to be more competitive than game one. It's hanging in the balance at the moment. Fort Templar still look like they have the confidence to go back in front. Opportunity now for LastWind on the counter-attack, however. Over to the left wing it goes, where D-Lynch is there to receive it for Fort Templar. Might even shoot from that angle. Didn't have the power behind it to beat Zoon.
Yeah, on a balance of play, it feels like Fort Templar just have slightly more momentum, and they've had certainly more territorial, I think. Although the shots on goal aren't that different, and LastWind doing far better in this game than they did in the last. But they've had good periods of pressure of LastWind, but it just feels like, or it looks like they've spent more time defending than Fort Templar have had to do.
Yeah, I mean, LastWind's goal did, of course, come from the defensive mistake, a big one made by the Fort Templar Academy players, so they still haven't really created a goal of their own. It was good play by Khan to win the ball back, but we haven't seen a passing play from them to create a goal of genuine quality. It's never too late for the first one, of course, and with this game being at 1-1, there's an opportunity for it. They have possession in the offensive third, at least temporarily. Billy gets a demo in on the goal line there, but Khan finds themselves suddenly 1 against 2 at the back. Oles goes in for the demo, and now Driz will keep the play alive for Fort Templar, but Billy has recovered, and the rotation for LastWind has improved defensively. That's why they're keeping Fort Templar Academy out. But have I spoken too soon? Driz went for the shot on the far side, but it does stay 1-1 with just over a minute to play.
Yeah, but now a sustained pressure from Fort Templar, and eventually it starts to get a little bit panicky, and they've been able to keep the pressure on, and every attempt to break it seems to be intercepted and taken back over to the blue side. As it is being done now, D-Lynch doesn't get the greatest of touches, but it's still going to go in front of the net. Off the backboard, Oles is up! Again off the backboard, D-Lynch will find it and get the second. 48 seconds from time. Good build-up play and good finish here from Fort Templar.
Pressure was on LastWind. As soon as Zoon missed that clearance, it freed up the space in the air for D-Lynch to shoot, and he had plenty to aim at. 2-1 to Fort Templar with 48 seconds left, and suddenly LastWind find themselves potentially going 2-0 down in this series, despite being the slightly higher seed. Billy in the corner gets a demo that will prevent Driz from carrying the ball forwards, but Oles looks for D-Lynch in front of the net. Almost, but not quite an excellent passing play. Instead it will be Driz in his own corner to try and negotiate the midfield here, but runs into Zoon on the way. LastWind trying to find a leveller here in the last 30 seconds. D-Lynch gets the save, but Khan looks for the centre ball. It rolled along to the front of the net where Oles stepped in to make the clear. D-Lynch looked for the pass to Oles back, but instead it will be Khan. 10 seconds to go for LastWind to try and tie it up. Khan is demoed here. D-Lynch will step in to clear it out. Only one defender back, and it's Khan. The ball gets out of their way. D-Lynch is just trying to kill this into the ground now. It's Driz to step in. Fort Templar Academy go 2-0 up, not quite. That one stays in the air. LastWind will go end-to-end, trying to make something happen at the death. The ball finally drops to the ground. Fort Templar Academy have taken game 2 of this series, perhaps not entirely deserving of it as they were in the first game, but nonetheless they have the big advantage.
Yeah, and I like once they took the lead again, around a minute from time, they controlled that last minute very well. They weren't pushing as hard. They were absolutely looking to see if there's an opportunity, but very aware that LastWind would be starting to chase the game hard. And I liked how they just ate off time off the clock, kept possession, tried to keep it close, and a controlled game for them at the end. And now, wow, the potential of LastWind going down in a sweep. I mean, they had better aggression there. They with a seven shots apiece, but they find themselves on the wrong end of the scoreline.
Well, the shots on target is an interesting notation as to how LastWind performed in that game. Yes, it was better, but I think it was about 2 minutes into the game where I said that Zoon and Khan had a combined 4 shots on target between them. They only added 1 to that total in approximately the second half of that game too. They were just slowly but steadily forced onto the back foot, and they pretty much stayed there for the rest of the game, including before and after Fort Templar Academy scored their winner. LastWind didn't really have many opportunities to come forward. Now it's about best of 5 reverse sweep territory. Not as impossible as it would be in a best of 7, but still a big task ahead for a team that has only scored 1 goal so far.
Yeah, well now, they're gonna find 3 wins from somewhere, and it seems a hard ask as it stands now. But Rocket League is, we see it We see it often enough to know that momentum can shift in an instant, and Zoon will get an early goal. Finally, LastWind have an early goal. They have a lead.
What an angle that is from
And the
Zoon.
possibility here.
Yeah, and the shot into the bottom right corner, it's really nicely worked. There was two defenders on the line in front of the ball, but the placement is too good to beat them. And 25 seconds gone now. LastWind find themselves in the lead for the first time in this series. Certainly a good start to pulling off the reverse sweep, but there is a long way to go yet.
There is, and it's just the start of a momentum swing, and now they got to keep it going. Khan with a controlled carry, but can't lose his control of it at an important point, and D-Lynch is going to get this forward now. But certainly better from LastWind, but too early to call anything. Driz with the shot, the save from Billy. For Templar trying to get back to their attacking ways that have what they've been so good at over the last two games.
Still 1-0 to LastWind as we negotiate the first minute of this third game. Fort Templar Academy on the attack for the time being, but it looks like LastWind will swat them away. Now there's a chance for Ols to shoot, but it was never headed towards the goal. Calm from up top. Musty flicks towards the opposition net. Didn't have enough pace behind it to turn into a genuine shooting opportunity, but it's still possession for LastWind, and they crave possession in this third game of the series. They've not had enough of it in the first pair. D-Lynch in the corner, might have an opportunity to shoot, and does rifle it into the roof of the net, tying the game up for Fort Templar.
Yeah, very good for Fort Templar here, and it's taken them 93 seconds to score their first goal, which after the 1 and 6 second starts they had in game 1 and 2 has been a long time, but this is good. And now I expect the game is going to tighten up a hell of a lot, because it's Fort Templar know they can take it down right here, right now, but a very nervy LastWind team, but perhaps not. Khan gonna get himself a goal here. Billy looking for a shot. He gets bumped off it. The touch from Driz really just sets it up for Khan, and he makes no mistake. They regain the lead.
Well, nicely done for LastWind. As long as they're not level or behind, they won't be feeling the pressure too much. They want to spend as much time as possible in front as they can to try and pull off this reverse sweep, and they do lead with 3 minutes to go in game 3. Fort Templar Academy, though, still have that 2-0 series lead to hold against LastWind. As long as they're only 1 goal down, they're only 1 shot away from ramping the pressure up again, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Where is the defence for LastWind on this play?
Yeah, look, Khan looking to make a movement forward far too early, assumed that there was control from his teammate, but he left the goal line far earlier than he should have, seeing that the ball was not under his teammate's control, and now they've given up two consecutive leads, and now D-Lynch, is that a third? What a save from Billy! But a nervy moment from LastWind. They've taken a lead twice here. They've given it up both times and now find themselves under pressure. They have their backs against the wall right now.
Driz had a chance to centre the ball there. There's 3 players committed forwards here for Fort Templar Academy. Could be a chance on for LastWind on the counter. Khan knows that, so he's going to smash it into the far corner. Zoon with an opportunity to shoot from out wide. Driz gets up to make the save, and now it's Billy in the corner. LastWind just injecting a little bit of pace into their counter-attacks, but what's this? A chance on the counter for Driz. Ols is going to get in for the rebound, and Khan has a second save to make. Dangerous times at the back for LastWind, and this is what I talked about. They don't want to be spending time level, because there's a chance for Fort Templar to go in front, and they have done just that with 2 minutes and 5 seconds to play. It's a great pass into the middle from out wide by Driz, and Ols was in perfect position to receive it. You won't see a better Route 1 play like that this series.
Yeah, a great play from Fort Templar, but LastWind, I think, chasing the game a little hard and probably a little frustrated, having given up their 2 leads, playing up quite high and then looking very scrappy on their rotations back, and then being in defense, not being able to convincingly clear it and get any kind of control on the ball, and then Fort Templar taking advantage, building the pressure, getting the goal, and now they stand on the precipice, the cusp of taking this down in a sweep. And what a disappointment that would be for LastWind.
But what a start to the playoffs it would be for Fort Templar Academy. They'd go into their series with the Nameless Paradox with oodles of confidence. They are 1 minute and 30 seconds away from calling themselves Winners Bracket second round participants. LastWind have still got time to fight back in this one. They've got 2 goals in this, but they're going to need to double that total if they are to keep themselves in the series at the very least. Khan off the right wing, perhaps looking for Zune in front. Zune does get a touch on it. Olzer's committed very early for that challenge, but what a clearance they've made. The pre-jump, they ended up making it work. Billy now pivoting on the halfway line, trying to send the ball back into the opposition half, but it's taken back by D. Lynch, who took it very slow on the ball, trying to get some time off the clock. This ball's headed dangerously towards the net, but it's not on target. Billy now looks for Khan with the shot. Billy went for the bump, but nothing comes of it.
Wow, double commit from Fort Templar. Almost got them into a lot of trouble there. And they haven't, in this final phase, been controlling the ball as well as they did in the last minute of the last game when they took that lead. Now they seem a little scrappy, trying to keep possession, trying to keep it close, but not being as convincing as they were in that last game. And LastWind trying to unsettle things, and they've got to find a way through. If it goes in now, that's going to be the end. They keep it out, but they've only got 18 seconds, Herbie, to find a way through. Is this their last chance? It's going to be cleared by D. Lynch, but how far? 10 seconds, the final countdown for LastWind.
Khan is going to launch it forward as LastWind truly living up to their name. Might be a chance in front of the net. D. Lynch, though, does excellently to kill the ball. The LastWind players immediately exit the lobby. This has not been a series that they are going to want to watch back. Swept in the winners bracket first round by Fort Templar Academy, who steamroll into the second round where they will face Nameless Paradox. LastWind, though, finished second in their division in league play. They would have had so much confidence coming into the playoffs, but they've not lived up to it at all in their first series. They'll get another chance in the lower bracket, but they've got over an hour to stew and wait for that series. It's going to be difficult for them mentally to get themselves back on top, and that was the importance of this first round. It's about one team establishing themselves as genuine playoff contenders and the other needing to find their extra gear in the losers bracket.
Yeah, and I'm very certain that this is not a performance indicative of LastWind's run through the league, which will make it all the more disappointing. Fine, you go down. If you go down in a Game 5 thriller in overtime, you go, you know what? There's 1 or 2 moments, but this was 3 games in a row where they overall on a balance of play were fairly dominated, and now they've got to battle it down with last life down in the lower bracket while Fort Templar will go forward. But very well played to them. They came out from the first second of Game 1 like they were in a hurry and very hungry to take it down.
Well, from the winners bracket round 1, that is it for the moment. We're going to head into a bit of a break now, as there are forfeit wins in Group A for Serious Business as they move into a series against Dawn Guard. And Astro Allegiance also taking a forfeit win over Game King Phoenix. They will face ILV Crimson next. ILV Crimson versus Astro Allegiance is the next series that is going to be happening over on the main stream. That's in about 20 minutes' time. On this channel, we will also be back in about 20 minutes' time with Irrelevant Esports, the higher seeds, taking on the winner of Astro Zenith and Godalian's Divinity, which is currently happening off stream. But don't go anywhere, because when both of our channels come back, we are going to bring you some more fantastic drama from the Division 1 playoffs.